Mod the Planet. And today, in episode 7, we are going to take apart the Bordeaux Beauty Mark 13. Now, a lot of people don't really understand how significant a blaster is, how cool a blaster is. I did do a Mark 13 disassembly when it was in my room. It wasn't that great, and I decided, you know what, I really should do it like this, okay? So I decided, you know what, let's take apart the Bordeaux Beauty. Why not, you know? So first we got to take apart the scope. I'm gonna have to recite this anyway, especially since now I'm using saber darts, and that's decided after this thing got a 4 foot per second deviation on camera, and off camera about 2.5. Wow, I just think it's great. Now why am I taking this apart? One, to kind of tune it up a little before getting, and two, because the catch spring feels really crunchy. So in my long shot catches, which I always collect my long shot catches, you can never have enough. I have a turf long shot spring. I want to see if I can use that. But here, I'm going to show you this real quick. And also to go over the features of this and why this is such a great D.M.R blaster, and why it has advantages over longer blasters with longer barrel lengths, because it can effectively do the kind of power it can do. Okay, so this is right here. Yeah, it's a crossbow scope. So what you have is you have a speed ring up here. You select the feet per second. Now it's a little different because that's a crossbow. You aim at 20, okay, and you get it centered and you hit it. Then you go back to about 50 yards. You shoot at a target, you hit it there. Then you zero it in. By the way, this has 45 MOA in each direction. 45 MOA. Incredible. You can never get that in any other high-powered scope. Also, this is 1.5 to 5. So the power is not too over magnifying. It's more meant for the speed velocity of blasters like this. Shane from Spitfire Products recommended this. He is brilliant. He is smart. He's also making the springs that I'm going to put in here after getting, which are whole. So what it has touched 400. It has done it. 403. It did it without a B car. 403. However, the next springs I'm going to use. Ooh, let me show you real quick. Okay, so here's the rest of my special projects right here. Also, I need to get some Teflon tape. So this is a rollout for a Merlin, 7 degrees. So this would get wrapped about here, done in here. These are not easy to make, by the way. They are very hard. When I do it, my hand hurts for like 2 or 3 days. Definitely an after-getting thing. But this is what I'm going to do. So this is like the plunger in here, only I milled this down to about 9.5. I was trying to get this plunger thing off. Excuse me for that. It's a little rough. But this is usually smoother. And I did this by hand. All by hand. Milled this down to a tail of 9.5. And then this right here is 11/30 seconds. So it has an interlocking guide rod. What do I need an interlocking guide rod for? For these monsters. 380 millimeter Swiss springs, which I have to put a piece of 5/8 in this little tail thing here. That way it doesn't buckle when I do it. But oh my gosh. I may be cutting these down to 350. I don't know, but that's a lot of pre-comp. So probably maybe like 6 coils, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it would be like down here. Yeah, that's doable. That's doable. So this is a 1.85 by 14 millimeter Swiss spring. These are going to just destroy. What's in the long shot 2.0 right now, although it's set about 1 inch now, still shooting really fast. That's an SF25 plus 2. You can see how the coils are wider, and this fits right into a long shot 2, but it is at first a bit crunchy, has to set in, and then these other springs are the 1.65s, which I may try first. Should get me about 340, 350 feet per second, maybe 380, I don't know. But these springs could go way higher than 400. So this is going to be a long episode, I'm going to tell you right now, because I want to show you a whole bunch of stuff on these, because this is really cool. Let's turn our scope off, not waste battery. I'm going to have to re-zero that. And when I do re-zero that, I may become a serial killer and take out a cereal box and use that as targeting. Now I do this so it holds this front part here. I also put Teflon tape around this This has no movement whatsoever. This is probably the most accurate blaster I've ever built, and that is saying a lot considering I had, you know, inches of accuracy at 100 feet in 2016 with a pistol, mind you, but still, you know, not with a mag fed. Mag fed, I was somewhere around, I think, 7-8 inches at 100 feet, somewhere like that. But this is getting up there. I'm not going to make any claims of how accurate it is right now, but I will say it's pretty accurate. Now, this is getting, when I say it's low mid setting, this is getting 300 feet per second with this. Now, put in mind, I put in here, is this a new, I think this is a new K27. Let me see here. Okay. This is a new K27. Okay. So, just to show you how much of a set I'm rolling with Giddon with. This, with a spacer, is 360 feet per second. Okay. Without a spacer, it's around 320, 330 brand new, and then it goes down to where it is about right now. So this right here is my Giddon setup right here. You can see, wow, yeah, that's a big drop, but it's stable. It's shooting within a very, 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 very tight groupings of velocity, and because of that, I don't want to mess with this. So let's prime this. Okay, I have a reason I want to prime it. Now, this is just a cedar stock. This is painted in Bordeaux. By the way, the paint I use is this paint right here. This is it. Folk Art Matte Berry Wine Bordeaux. Yeah, Bordeaux is this pretty color, and I like this because if you get scratches, stuff like that, and you will, because you're playing in a pretty rough environment, you'll do this. This is film and glitter. Below it is 4 layers of fiberglass on each side. And on the back side, you're going to see the back side. There's even laminates in the back side. And that is this material right here. And it is put on with crazy glue and then backfilled with epoxy. It's fiberglass. It can't rip. You can break the fibers and break it, but you can't rip. But if it's laminated, forget about that. With freaking space age epoxy, forget that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this off, if I can get it off. I may need a screwdriver for that. So this is not just duct tape. It looks like duct tape, but duct tape is what's on the outside of it. Basically, it's that material I just showed you, laminated in epoxy. But it's kind of stiff. Basically, it's a ring so that it holds this and keeps it from slamming forward when you prime it. Oh, that's really on there. I don't know why. Damn. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. I don't know what happened there, but it just kind of stuck on there really bad. Okay. So I have about 5 layers of epoxy in that material and this is really strong. It's what's made so it goes on a buffer tube and it keeps it from moving. So you don't have to worry about the lockup handling everything. So let's unscrew this whole thing. Okay. You may also notice the back of this is fiberglass and epoxy laminated. What this does is it keeps this from breaking. All right, here we are. There it is. There's the whole system right there. Here, and what I want to do, and I know some screws are going to pop out of here, but that is what is being done on the inside. That is fiberglass epoxy cast. So this has no give, absolutely no give. The shell is just too weak, and then the tail. Oh, I love how these tails are still holding up. Look at that, epoxy, 7 layers of fiber tape. This makes this really strong. So if you borrow this again or check it out again, try a shot or two, you'll see how strong this tail is. This is no longer flimsy plastic. And then this, that's empty, is being held by this, which is also. So this has a little give, but no much. I think I might be epoxying this up here on both sides at some point, but not today. And then this is held in, see this Teflon tape here? right up here. You see the Teflon tape? What this does, you wrap it around, it makes a spacer, and it makes it so this muzzle does not move at all when you're firing. And that makes it extraordinarily accurate because the blaster is going to fall in the same position every time. So there it is. I do anchor these to here because they had built those as two-piece for molding purposes, but it's actually better off that way. And you'll notice there's Teflon tape here and here. So every little thing that can move has been spacered and moved, so it can't do that. It can't move. This has got this buffer here so that this doesn't hit it. It also makes the distribution of the primal more, but this can no longer break. I can throw a powerful spring on there and I'm mighty and great. Okay, I'm fine. So this is on this side. This is on this side as well. Let me give you also not just to take it apart, but to give you an introduction. Because normally I would have this thing apart for about 10 minutes and put it back together, slap back there and be real fast and not explain anything. Well, I've done a lot of that online, and I'm trying to be a little bit more open source than I have been in the past because I just realized that a lot of times when I talk to people about my builds, they're clueless. Some people get it. Some people really study and do a great job, but I want to try to make it a little easier for people to understand where I'm coming from. So let's see. The one part I had taken this thing apart to actually change. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I can see it. Okay. You'll also notice on my plungers that this is a bell shape. This doesn't come this way. I've concentrically filed this by hand and sanded it. That was not done with a CNC. That was done by hand. Completely by hand. Okay. And here's the guide rod assembly. So the whole thing is held by a guide rod, not a square axis on it. So let me show you what it does. When it fires, goes forward like so, and push this a little farther forward. And as you can see, it will hold it. Actually, I'm probably better off putting this back in like this, taking the catch out. You'll also notice the finger is wrapped by fiberglass here. I'll show that detail in a bit because it makes it so the plunger always lands in the same place. So the foot of the trigger catch lands in the same place every time and can't dance around. And you also notice the trigger catch, that's not a standard trigger catch. That's also done by hand, by myself. And there it is. Oh man, look at this catch spring. Oh, it's seen better days. Look how deformed it is. It is completely deformed. It's also too much for what I want to do next Sunday. So yeah. Now let me show you some detail. Now that I have this like this, what the guide rod does. So this guide rod's for K27 and number 62 Hillman. So what happens is when this primes, the spring can't go anywhere. It absolutely cannot go anywhere. And you may notice this is a used spring, but it's not buckled at all. That's why. And it makes it much more consistent firing and much more consistent yield. Wow. I did that by hand. That is a normal worker kit, Nexus Pro kit, but it's been filed to take a saber plunger. It is very nice. I'm going to sharpen this as well. And how I'm going to do that, flat file, 1, 2, 1, 2. We got a little bit of a rounding there. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's how it makes a diamond pattern when I do that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now why I'm doing that? Because it's going to make it perfectly level. Because it averages out when you change it in four directions like that. And it makes it so dimensionally. And this is a trigger catch. This is a really critical part. And I'm able to just take it out, take the worker soft aluminum, and it is pretty soft aluminum actually, and just kind of file it out. Yeah. Yep. That's sharp right there. Right here is very sharp. So let's see here. See? So if you do that, so this was entirely reduced by hand, completely reduced by hand. And when you put the saber plunger in it, it sits like this. See? Sits like that. And as you can see, it is totally level. It is completely level. Look at that. You got a little bit of give when you prime, not much. And also that's regulated by this right here too. So it keeps it from over priming. Okay. Here we go. See? Yeah. Very, very nice. Very nice. So I do this stuff by hand. And by doing that, you have a lot more control of the tolerances and the performance of the blaster if you know how to do that. But look at that catch spring. Wow. It was, I had a feeling it was chewed. I didn't know for sure. Oh, it's chewed. That is majorly chewed up. I am missing that long screw, but I'll find it. Just like I'll find you to go changing. I know, I'm just being cute when I say that. You know me. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get this catch spring out of here. There we go. Now, I'm going to take this right here. And I'll take this over here. And I'm going to put this on here. And I got to put that on there when it's on there. It's not going to stick on there. Also, my little hairs get everywhere. Maybe you noticed that. And it's because I have long hair. Yeah, and it's a pain. It can be a pain. It can be a chore at times. Especially when you're trying to do stuff really precise. Now notice with this design here, that if you put a spring in, it never catches it. This is the reason I have this hanging like this and then like that. So the spring, this is the way it was designed, the way I designed it. The spring can never touch the catch. So it's never catch grinding when it's firing. So that's good. If you hear anything, it's this coiling up into the stainless steel. This right here. And if you do that, oh boy. So let's see if we can get this together. Show you. Yeah, see? Well, it kind of didn't want to stay together there, but yeah, you see? That's what it does. That's what it does. And that is one beefy. That's 2.0. It's one size smaller than a K26, so it's a little more yelled, and it's got some gusto to it. It's got some power. Yeah. Let's take apart a few other things. There's one thing I want to do. I want to strengthen this hold on here. Okay, so this does not come out. This is here, but this does not come out because this is anchored right here because your front plunger spacing is over that. That is epoxy and fiberglass. Ah, damn, my hair gets everywhere. It's terrible. Epoxy and fiberglass. It has epoxy casted inside of it. And there it is. So we're going to take that apart. Squeeze me. I think this is this screw, actually. Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. So what we do not want, absolutely do not want, is want to get those hairs out of there. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to hold this in as I prime it. And notice, look how tight that is. Look how tight my tolerances are. Oh, goddamn hair. Okay, I don't know how this got all my hair in there and it just jammed it. So the hand of the plunger hits this. This is laminated duct tape, so it's a buffer. But then this is a stop. So this regulates this over here. Now there's a reason why that has to be so close. It doesn't make any sense. Chris, why didn't you just mask the whole plunger head? Well, because at the time when I was building the first prototype, I had to make it able to do this. Hold on a second. Just get it out of the gate out of here. And this, yeah. So I had to be able to clear it like that. That's how I designed it to begin with. Oh man. Let's get all this debris off of here. Okay, so that's it. That's the pusher cup right there going into the worker pusher. Right there. Here we are. Yeah. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. It's Very good blaster. It's very powerful. Look how it hammers that damn pad. And the pad's on this side, not on the head, not on the plunger head. Why? Because you're lowering your reciprocating mass and your drag when you do that. So when you're firing, you want to bring down your reciprocating mass as much as possible. Every little thing helps. It adds up. It's very small percentages of returns, but it's there. It's there and it works. Now this is grinded on the top so that this can insert into this brass tube here. And this is getting chewed really bad. Let's fix that a little, shall we? Yeah. Don't know why that's getting chewed, but it is. Okay. So we're going to take the barrel apart as well. If I have the Allen wrench for it, I may not. But there you go. There it is. I wanted to give it the once over, and all these hairs, all my hairs just fly in there and just stick in there. And I mean, this thing is literally just riding, like if you superimpose it, literally riding on that ring, like right there. Yeah, just literally riding on it. You see a little belly outside, but I had to do that to make it so it's disassemblable. I was noticing it was acting really crunchy, and I was like, that's priming really crunchy. I'm wondering why. That's because that spring is all messed up. I knew it was something like that. Let's see, is this the right size? I may not have the right size. I don't know where my yellow bit went. But essentially what this is a piece of stainless steel. And just like the other barrel, you got 9/16 and 17/32 in it. And it's anchored. See how that's anchored right there? That's the end of the 9/16 that goes into the pusher. Hair everywhere, just terrible. Let me move this over here. Might give you a little bit better of a visage. Okay. As you can see, it has quite a bit. Yeah, so it goes 9/16, and then right where it joins the center of seconds, there is a timing ring that holds up to. This is the end of 9/16, but there's another one back in here, and it causes it to lock up. So that 9/16 can't move on you, and now you have a steel breech. So this is what we call a type W. Type W means a worker. It could take a worker pusher, like on a long shot, or a Gimsmoth's getting one. He's getting a type W swan barrel, and then it goes into here, and these are really, really tough. Okay, so on this front here, wrapped in Teflon tape, you'll notice fiberglass. The whole bobbin's fiberglass. That's permanently on there. It keeps it from moving. Because of the reinforcements on this side and this, and the fact that this is stainless steel, everything, it doesn't move. It doesn't move, period. And it makes it so it's much more stable shooting platform. So this is a sniper rifle. This is not a field rifle by any means. This is not a worker Harrier. This is not anything like that. This is a true out, full out sniper, okay? Meant to shoot in the 350, 400 foot per second range, but again, it's going to shoot about, probably 290, 300, 260, 270s with Saber T darts, because that's the mod limit, is 1 gram darts, 300 feet per second. It's a hard, solid mod. Now that I got this apart, let me throw some more grease in here. I have historically hated doing teardowns and putting on video. It is not because I don't like my fans or anything. It is because it always gets in the way. And it's hard for me because I'm concentrating on my blaster first, always. And if it's too much of a distraction, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to go in here. Anything in here? Nope. Nope, nothing. That looks like it's really solid. So I took this apart just for that. But then found the hairs in there, and I also want to throw a little bit of Mag 1 lithium grease. It's actually marine silicone grease, and it's non-petroleum based, so it tends to it doesn't dry up like the white petroleum. The white lithium grease. It doesn't dry up, which is the reason I like it a lot more than I like white lithium. People may wonder why I don't use white lithium grease, and the big reason is my experience has said that in California weather especially, it just chalks up. It's not good. Okay, so this around here, God, how do all my hairs just get in there? They just like fly in there. I don't even understand. That's weird. I don't know why it did that. Okay, so here, I'm going to want to knock this down because this is going to get in my way. Yeah, it is getting in my way. You see how it's like fouling outside my barrel? Not that that's a big deal, but I really, really do not want this moving every time I prime it. One of the big goal here with this blaster is that this doesn't get in my way. It doesn't change in firing position. Also, because this is glued now, this isn't going to move back. So that was put before this was glued in. So I really don't need that there. This was a duct tape hold in. But I'd rather have this thing priming smoothly, especially at the end of the prime. That was the whole reason I took it apart, was the crunchy prime. Okay, so I'm going to take this off here. Okay, I'll always stick them. This is a problem with duct tape. Also, duct tape mixes with silicone grease and makes it kind of goopy. It vaporizes with it. It also, the silicone, like, look at that beautiful stainless steel. Oh man, look at that beautiful stainless steel. Look how beautiful that is. And it really does make it a much more solid build, because this plunger is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It is gonna be just great. Now, we're gonna put this in like this. This is why this had to be built like that. This is why this tube is anchored, but it's a temporary glued, you know. And then here, right here, let's do this with the plunger all the way back. As you can see, this is kind of trying to walk out on me here. Stay, S-T-A-Y, stay. I hate it when blaster stuff does this. I really do. Okay, that makes it better. Okay, we're going to take this right here. We're going to lift this up like this. I'm going to prime this back like that. And I'm going to give it a couple more windings, before wiping my hands off a little, of Teflon. So this is completely hand built. This came from a stock Nexus Pro that got a Nexus Pro kit that my friend Nate Little gave me when I was developing the Mark 1318 and decided I needed to go metal with it. So this is the original 1318, but now it's got now it's playing with power. So a couple of winds. One. You don't want to twist the Teflon when you're doing that. 1 and 2. What this is going to do is going to make a spacer. So when it clamps down with the 2 screws, it's going to bite it really good. There's that. There's that. Okay, all right. This is going to go back into here, as so. And I'm going to put this screw in here. Okay, I have a whole jar of extra screws. The reason I do that is because you lose screws all the time. And it's really important. Like, I lost that long screw for the front there. I definitely need that one. So I want this held in. I want this to move around as little as possible, the front and the back. So my recommendation, not only do I screw this down, but I also Teflon tape the hold in on the other side of this to make this as tight as possible. And I get groups that are just not even going to make a claim, but I'll just say, you'll find out. And when you get hit from impossible distances, you're like, that's him again. But it's more common today, however. It wasn't as common when I started shooting that you could just bag people from far away. That I like that. I like the fact that the hobby's progressing, where I'm not the only one. And when people say, oh, you can hit people from that far away, bullshit. It's like, no, not bullshit. That's what I do. That's, you know, that's my claim to fame, basically. Yeah. Well, no, not that screw. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah, the one with the front on it. That's right. And I try to retain the screws as much as possible, especially when you're talking a really tight sniper rifle build. You have to. Okay, but before I do any of that, I need to get my fiber tape and I need to cut it. So this mag adapter is the hold-in for the whole thing, and that's the hold-in, okay? So I'm going to introduce you to something really quick here that is not normal, and we're going to do a whole video on doing this on the long shot too, because it's going to need it, because once I open it completely up, it's going to be, it would destroy the plunger head in 2 or 3 shots with what I'm going to do with it. And I am really going to have to make sure that, you know, okay, so this is fiber tape. This is Chris's famous fiber tape. What I want to do is I want this to hang over just a little more, not much. You may be noticing I'm not very careful about that side because I don't have to be. Okay, there we go. Because what I'm going to do with it is put in 3 more layers on top of this. I better hit the fan actually. Always make sure when you do this, you are vented. That is not some corny PSA thing. That is the truth. If you don't do this, you can kill yourself. I'm not kidding. You can actually die. So please, 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 mod at your own risk, and do understand, take precautions, like if you're going to do this. Now, this is not enough glue to actually kill you, but if you do big long parts like that, yeah, it is. Open garage space or vented or ducted fan that you know works for sure. Okay. Now you notice I'm using this to tack it down, because I want this to be just a little higher. Not much, just a little. I want to make sure that this clears it, because this goes in the whole thing, and when it fires, that is a leverage point right there. So I'm actually fiberglassing that. Yeah. Okay. I didn't mean to do that off camera. But now I'm going the other way on these other 2. And you notice here I'm trying to stagger the fibers a little. Okay. So now that's a little thicker. A little thicker. And don't worry about the excess. We're going to trim that in a bit. And now I'm going to take the rest of this super glue. I only need ethylene resin for a hold up. I don't need epoxy. It doesn't have to be that much. Also, if you know you might be layering this after, resharpening it after with ethylene resin or something like that, you're going to want to make it just ethylene resin, because you don't want to go epoxy, ethylene, epoxy. Like if you want to use ethylene resin and fiberglass as a primer layer, like these are done, fine, but not alternate. That's just not a good idea. See how I'm saturating the material here? I'm not just tacking it down with glue. I am saturating this, okay? By the way, this is going to smell like fucking India. Like the Bhopal disaster. You want to know why? Because this is the chemical that actually caused the Bhopal disaster. The solvent in this, you got it. Be a very wary bear. This is not... you got to be really careful. And I say if you're a kid, don't even bother. Don't do it. Just screw this down to the front. Don't do what I do, okay? I often tell a lot of young kids, don't be like me. Yeah. I am a composites expert. I have been working with composites since I was a kid, okay? Fiberglass parts, molds, tooling, you name it. I mean, mainly polyester resin, but on the Nerf stuff, I divulged into epoxy and methyl and ethylene resins as a primer base, because it works better with ABS. There you go. Now this is not supposed to go in and out. It's supposed to do exactly the opposite of go in and out. It's supposed to be stuck in there. Yeah, so here I am. Now it's semi-dry. In other words, it's not completely cured, but it's enough. And voila. Now I made that just a little more profound and thicker. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. because I want that to not move. Because if it moves, my whole plunger is going boom, and your master's done for the day. Okay? We don't want that. Besides, everyone's using talons anyway, so. Says the creator of the katana bag. Yeah, I know. But I basically just do not want this. Do not want this to move. I don't want to glue this in. I want this to be replaceable so I can service it. So if I have to bring this up or down, I can do it just by taking the X-Acto and doing it. But I do not want this to move. So when I put it back together here, let me explain what it does. Something really cool. There is another cool thing you can do if you just want to just get this done, is you just take some Teflon tape like this. Get a knife like this, because and work it like that so it doesn't stick to your part when you put it in there. Because this is like a mold, and Teflon's like a mold release material, right? You may notice I don't use Teflon for seals. I use it for gaps. I use it to shore things up. So let's take this apart. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Now, you put this in like so. I did that for the preservation of time. And also because I like this hitting Teflon. See this corner piece right here? I did this on a corner piece for a good reason. So now when this goes into here, it stops right there. It stops right there, and it's going to throw your vibration into this. It's not even going to touch here. Notice I made it so this doesn't even touch here anymore. So this stops it, but it means the vibration has to go zip, zip, another part, zip, zip, you get to your barrel. Yeah, instead of going boom, straight to your barrel. It makes it so you're controlling your harmonics a little better. It doesn't eliminate the pogo forces entirely. Also why this is recessed back a little, and this is slightly more forward. So this is not sitting directly into the seat. It's about 1/4 inch in. I wish I had an x-ray machine I could show you, but it's about a 1/4 inch. Take my word for it, okay? And what this does now is it makes it so this isn't hitting the edge of the gate. This vibration is not going straight into the barrel and shaking this up like a big pogo stick. And it is more accurate shot for shot because of it. This is one of those little sniper little tricks. And believe me, there are a lot of sniper tricks. It's like playing golf, like how not to shake your shot, stuff like that. People all have their own thing. I get it. I do. Some of it's good. Some of it's snake oil. It is. But I'm telling you, that's why I designed it this way. This is why I did. Okay. This goes in kind of, yep, there we go. There we are. And the first 2 screws that get nailed down, oh, I got blowing nose. The first 2 screws that get nailed down, you got it. The front, just a little bit, not all the way in. I'm just going to tighten this to the point. Notice these are longer screws. And the reason they're longer is I want this to grab really good. I want to use every little bit surface area of plastic threading to hold this barrel. Right. Okay, right. Not all the way, but enough. Now, next one I'm going to get is this center one. Okay. Hopefully it will catch, and that will be good. Okay. So these are kind of in, but not really. This one, the one at the gate, that's pushing down. I'm going center first, the front, then center, then moving out. The reason I'm doing that is I want to better distribute the tightness of this. So that you're tightening from down on up. That's what I want to do. And from like front to back. But I'm going to put these in. So what this is doing when this presses is it's pressing that Teflon tape and making it so that barrel just cannot move. Cannot move at all. That's what I want to do. My long screw I had here, it's about a 5/8 I had here. I made sure this top screw is a 5/8. You may notice I'm using oversized screws on some things. And it makes it so it has a better holding. You know, also this shell is a 2019 shell. So this blaster, I have been working since 2020. I introduced the first one in 2021. It was a secret project for about a year, the Mark 1318, and it got up to 370 feet per second. But I decided it had too much flex, too much bend. It could be a professional sniper platform, but it needed more attention. It needed to be better. It needed to work better. Yeah, so there we are. Now I'm going to get this over here. We're going to work on a couple more details, and then I'll wrap it up. Okay, a little more grease into the plunger. Dude, I cannot believe my hair. It just gets everywhere. It's insane. I didn't think I had that much hair, but it does. It blows around my room. I got 2 air cleaners going. Actually 3 if you want to include the humidifier. And, oh yeah, definitely. So next thing I want to do is take my gold marker. Where did I put my gold marker? I brought in the gold marker. Oh, there it is. Okay, and I want to touch up a little bit with this gold here, because some of it's kind of looking a little crusty. Like here. I am not very good at paint. Paint's one of my weak spots. Just like video is like my weak spot, so is paint. It's not that I'm not an artist or anything, it's that I really have much more mechanically inclined mind than I think an artsy visual one. I am much more a mechanical person. I think mechanical stuff can be art, but in a brutalist kind of a fashion. Okay, I want to get these, especially since these sit below the scope. These little gold parts. This is also on Big Blue. Big Blue's got those rails are painted gold. It gives it kind of a little bit of a special touch, but they do wear off, of course. You know. Now this is, the boardwall didn't hit that very well, but that doesn't really matter as much. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, so now I'm going to tighten these both down real hard, and I'm going to move this over here. Actually, let's not put that in. And I want you to see how this is out here and this is out here, and this is pushing on this. And one of the reasons I have real tight, see? Hair, get out of there. This is my big problem. This is the problem with having long hair at 50. Yeah, so there it is, tight. Notice I'm doing it very equal. So I'm anchoring the barrel, pressing this in. Yeah. Phillips screw. Make sure you don't over tighten as always. And you can see the threads go all the way, like up here. Yeah, all the way up there. This can't move at all, like at all. So now I put in this this sling point. It is not for a sling point. You want to know what it's for? It's to hold in the barrel better. I noticed that on Big Blue that you can actually really cut down on the vibration of the barrel if you use like an aluminum sling point like this. I got this from Singapore. I got this from Black Tactical years ago. My fucking hair, man. I'm very surprised I took it apart and my hair was like all over it. It's just incredible. I mean, if I were to drop this at a crime scene, they would just know who I am. It's insane. Just remind me not to rob a bank. Jesus, you know? All right, so here we are. Tighten this down. Now I'm tightening this down. Okay. This is like a 6mm Allen key here. Not too hard, but now you may notice this opened up a little bit. This cannot move. The barrel never touches the prime. The harmonics from the plunger is separated by this, and it makes it a very accurate blaster. It's a prototype. It's a work in progress. But I'm hoping one day I manufacture a D.M.R rifle Now I'm going to have to recite this whole damn thing. I am. By the way, I highly recommend, especially Bradley, this U-Line, U-Life crossbow scope. If you want a link, I will PM you a link. It is badass. It is. I love it. I freaking love it. I think it's absolutely marvy. I'm not sure if you can get in Australia. You know, Bradley, Parker, all you guys, all you fellow brothers in foam who go the distance like I do. Okay, so I'm holding this down straight while doing this. And it doesn't move. It doesn't move, but I really am thinking about glassing it. I really am. Glassing the top parts of the rail. I want this in here, in here, in here, and there we are. All right. Let's move this back here. Let's see if there's any other places that need touching up or anything else. This is a long blaster. You think you guys know that to me, a blaster is normally a lot shorter. But you know, you compare this to a lot of blasters out there with 700mm barrels. The fact is it's only got 20. You can hit 400 and it hits good groups. It's a good D.M.R rifle, good mid-sized D.M.R rifle. It's not long range. It doesn't have the potential that a lot of your blasters do, but it's got enough. And then anything that can hit 400 with about 22 kilograms is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay.